So I was trying to go for like quirky art teacher with the vibe today, but honestly, I feel like I just look like the Play-Doh mascot. Hello, hi there guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back if you are not new here, but if you are new here, hi, my name is Cheyenne. I am primarily a cosplayer. I do like cosplay, DIY, kind of like cute, cozy stuff. We're doing something kind of completely different on the channel today, but the whole goal of this channel is just for me to like follow my creative muse wherever it goes. And this is actually something I've been meaning to do for like 4 or 5 years now, I'm pretty sure. So it's a long time coming. I have a couple of different like figure painting things that I've wanted to do. I love doll painting channels, as you can't super tell right now because they're not in the shot. But I'm a huge doll collector. Here, let me see if I can tilt it up a little so you can see them. Look at them. That's just the Barbies. That's not everything. But I'm a toy collector. My husband is also a toy collector. He does a lot of toy customizing, which I think is super neat. I watch a lot of videos of toy collectors. Shout out in particular to Hextian. I love you so much. I think you are just so incredible. We've met a couple of times. Just a sweetie and so talented. Oh my God. Anyway, that's always been one of those things where I've kind of like peered at that as a hobby and been like, I don't know if I can fully get into that because then I will go down a full rabbit hole. And I still am probably not doing fully that, but I have a couple of like little, you know, toy painting things that I want to do. And we're going to start with kind of the lowest stakes one. So if I suck at it, I'm not going to be that upset about it. So you know how around Christmas time at Walmart, they'll have a bunch of just like bath stuff and little like packs of beauty stuff, the kind of stuff that you're meant to like get for your like work Secret Santa or somebody you don't know super well, but it's still kind of cute and usually relatively inexpensive. You know which things I'm talking about, you know. So I have a tendency to buy those for myself because I'm a Leo and I'm a little bit self-obsessed and I love little treats, right? And they tend to be really cute little sets. And several years ago, I don't believe this was in a set, but several years ago, I bought her. So this is a pink, you know, like very 1950s style cat. She used to be full of bubble bath. Now she is not because I bought it like 5 years ago, so I've used up all the bubble bath. But I've kept her around because she's very 1950s, she's very mid-century looking, and I've always been like, I'm gonna keep her around. She's such a cute decor piece. I've always planned to just like put her somewhere in my bathroom, and she is very cute until you get up close. So let me see if I can get it to focus on her. She's kind of blown out. I might do some separate footage of her, but it's not that she's not cute, but she could be so much cuter. In particular, I think the thing that drives me crazy is like she has stickers for eyes and they are smaller than her sculpted eye sockets. And that has driven me crazy for years. So the goal is I want to peel these stickers off and I want to give her like cunty 50s glamorous cat makeup. We might add some makeup to her nose. We might like paint the inside of her ears. I'm not 100% sure. But the real goal is I just want her to like serve. I just want her to serve. And right now I don't feel like she's serving as much as she could. So, and again, this was from Walmart. If I remember right, it was like $5 or $10. So if I attempt to fix her and she doesn't look good, no harm, no foul, right? But if I fix her and I'm able to get her to serve as much as I want, then she's an adorable piece of decor. And then also we're like saving plastic from a landfill. Landfill. Oh my God. So that's the goal. We're going to take her over to the table and then we'll get started. But that's the plan. So we're going to touch her up a little bit. All right, first off, let's talk tools. I am using a silicone painting mat just so I don't make a huge mess on my cutting table. And we're using acrylic paints. I have a bunch of paint brushes left over from doing watercolors and some gloss varnish. Obviously, the first thing to do was just to separate her body, get it out of the way. We're just working with her head. And I wanted to clean the whole thing off with acetone. And then, of course, the stickers had to go. So I'm using just a cuticle pusher to get that process started. Once I got them up, it wasn't that hard to peel them off for the most part, but they were definitely on there pretty good. So it took a little work. But like even once I got the one off, just seeing how much bigger the eye socket is, I had to do something with her. I had to. And then we used some acetone to clean off the whole surface and get rid of any excess glue. I had a rough idea of what I wanted to do starting. I had a couple of references of like French kitty and just some like glamorous 1950s paintings and figures of cats. But at the end of the day, I just kind of wanted to figure this out as I went. Obviously, I started by just filling in that whole eye socket with white. It took a couple of layers to get the white as opaque as I wanted, and that's one thing that I did kind of struggle with during this process, was doing multiple layers and having the patience to wait and let one layer dry before I did the next one, right? So as I was waiting for eye layers to dry, I did some other details. As you can see, I added pink to the nose, pink to the inner ears. I made an attempt at painting in the whiskers, but it looked terrible, so I just took it off. And then I decided I would give her like a little bit of a pink lip. Figuring out the lip shape was a little bit tricky because, like, what level of lips do you give a cat with, like, their cat mouth? You know, I also used a little bit of a brighter pink just to fill in the ears. In the future, I think that it might be worth playing around with blending those a little bit more. Next up, it was time for irises. I tried using some watercolor pencils to kind of rough the shape out, and then I decided we were going to go with a purple eye color for her. I don't know why. She just seemed like she should have purple eyes to me. I ended up going with my favorite color palette for this, which is pink, blue, and purple. That's just my favorite color palette for anything. And I wanted to give her kind of a sidewise glance, a little retro Barbie. I just think it gives a little bit more character than looking straight ahead. And then if she's going to be glamorous, she needs blue eyeshadow. I don't care what you say. There are lots of eyeshadow colors I like. There's nothing as glamorous as blue eyeshadow. Like, nothing will ever be as glam as blue eyeshadow. Then we had to fill in our pupil. I decided to give her that like slitted cat pupil, and we did a dark purple with this. I kind of wanted to keep her as like pastel looking as possible, and to me, keeping the pupils a dark purple instead of a black really felt like the best way for me to do that. I also had a little trouble with these pupils, if I'm honest. Just trying to match them and keep them kind of the same width was really tricky. I also used some of that same dark purple to give her eyeliner. I just filled in kind of the eye socket line that was already there. And obviously we had to give her a cat eye if she's going to be like a glamorous retro cat. And then I wanted to give her a little blush. I've seen people use chalk pastels for this in other videos, but I didn't have any. So I decided to just take a little bit of my own personal blush and put that on with like one of my bigger, softer brushes. I think it came out okay, but in the future, if I do one of these, I definitely want to get some chalk pastels. I also added a couple of highlights to her eyes. I am a sucker for like 90s doll eyes where they're painted with like 47 different little catch lights in them. So I had to pay homage to that. We also gave her one little like star catch light just because I think it makes it look much more like magical and pretty, but it still wasn't quite enough. So I decided we were also going to add rhinestones to one of the catch lights just so it would have one little spot with a little sparkle. So I decided to just add those on with a little bit of glue, and I tried tweezers. I ended up having to just use my fingers for this, but I think it was very glam in the end. So I don't know, it feels like it was worth it. Then she needed lashes, so I'm using some bottom lashes from the brand Dodo lashes that I have. I use these for myself sometimes, and I just glued a couple of those on as well. I do think that they work, and I think they look really glam, but I think in the future, if I did this, I would probably try to get a purple lash, just because I think that the black lashes did break my all pastel vibe that I was trying to go for. But I think that they looked really pretty on her and really, really glamorous. So I'm definitely going to be adding lashes to ideas like this in the future, I think. At that point, her face was basically done. So I added a few drops of gloss varnish, to each of her eyes and just spread that out with a brush. To be honest with you, this was another step that I struggled with a little bit. I really wanted to have them really full and really shiny, but then I wasn't waiting long enough between layers of this, and then it was dripping onto her sides, and I had to clean that up. It was a little bit of a struggle, but at the end, I just decided that that was going to be it. And then I did decide I wanted to cover up the join in her neck and her body, so I covered it up with a piece of this blue velvet ribbon that I had, and apparently didn't pay attention to whether or not anything was in focus as I shot that, so apologies for that. And I added a little bow that I made for her, just so she would have a little bit something fancy, and one little heart-shaped rhinestone, just so she could be as glam as she wanted. So this is our before. She was fine, but I think by after, she has a lot more personality, at least. She's not perfect, but I think she's really cute. She's really vibey. She's giving exactly the energy that I wanted her to give. So I'm pretty happy with that. So there she is. She is all done. She's going to go live in my bathroom now and continue to just be glamorous and inspire me to be glamorous. I'm not going to lie to you guys. For the most part, I'm quite happy with it for my first time painting anything like this. There was a little part of me that was a little bit frustrated because it didn't come easy to me, right? Like, there are things about it that I would change. There are things about it that I'm sure are from the fact that my materials for this are relatively inexpensive, because trying a new hobby, I try to start with stuff that's relatively inexpensive, make sure that I enjoy it before I like go ham on stuff. And there's a little part of me that was like, do I even want to finish this video? This is stupid. I don't know if people are gonna enjoy this, because I'm not like pro level with it at all. Like, if you get really up close, I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera, but I can see like all the brush strokes and stuff on her. But the only way to get good at something is to start, and you're not gonna be a pro when you start something. And I don't know, I just feel like that's still worth talking about and still worth showing. And I do think she came out cute in the end, right? And now I've learned a couple things for the next time that I do this, and the plan is just to keep, you know, playing around with painting little guys when I feel like it. And also, just when I feel like it. Not everything has to be a skill that I'm a professional at, right? I'm a professional level seamstress. That is my day job. I'm not a professional level painter of plastic cats, right? So I just think that that's important for us to all remember. But being creative and doing art is not necessarily about being a pro at it. It's not about things being sellable. It's about doing it for the pure joy and enrichment of like human creativity. Because the fact that humans, we feel this need to create stuff and make stuff, I genuinely think is one of the best things about us as a species. So, you know, I felt like we all kind of needed that reminder. And I don't know, like I said, I do think she came out pretty cute. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it to the end. I am not even sure how this video is going to turn out, but hopefully it was enjoyable to watch. This channel is still a little baby channel. This is my fresh start channel. So if you enjoyed this, if you like my other content, please consider subscribing. It literally costs you nothing. And it helps my ego get bigger and more delusional. And I mean, I'm a Leo, so I need that. I need that constantly, right? Just if you feel like it. Links to all my other socials are down in the description, as well as my Patreon. By the time you're watching this, there should be at least one Patreon exclusive video up. I'm not 100% sure how many there will be yet, but that's where that's gonna live. And yeah, I think I'm gonna head out. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. In case nobody has told you today, you are special, you are worthwhile, you are important, and I'm so glad that we're friends. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.